Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Third Down Thursdays. I am your fill-in host for tonight, Simon Grissom. If you've been on the show once or twice or a few times before, you've seen me. You know who I am. But Coach Bruce is out tonight. He's on a professional work gathering trip, networking stuff, big shot stuff, big shot stuff for the big boss. I really think it's a draft hangover, but don't tell him that. He doesn't know that. But on tonight's agenda, we're talking a little Shedeur Sanders prank call scandal. We're talking a little WWE wrestling, and we got a few of the crew on at the very end of the show to go over our NFL draft grades. So, without further ado, because we don't need this to drag on a whole lunch, we're gonna start with the very best segment in all of podcast history. I have my brother Connor Davis for the Davis division. Come on in, Connor.
Woo!
How we doing, baby?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. I'm on a high right now, especially after what happened with the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm ready to discuss it. So without further ado, let me introduce the first segment of the show and the greatest sports segment in podcast history, the Davis Division. So, Cy, I'm sure you know of what happened. And let me set the scene for you. So,
table's yours.
We know that Shedeur Sanders was a first-round prospect by many analysts. There was not a single analyst that had him dropping out of the first round. Like the big analysts, like the Mel Kipers, the Phil Yates, those people that get paid a lot of money to do it.
There was a few who had him in the second. There's a singular one fallen out of the seconds, but everybody was like top 5, maybe top 20, maybe top 25, but he's not falling out the first round.
Now, it was after the 21st pick, the Steelers, there was like a fraction of a percentage that Shedeur would still be on the draft board. So we get to the top couple picks. People are saying, look, the Giants, they flew out to Colorado, hosted a private workout. They're really interested in Shedeur. But you have to take into consideration the type of person/player Shedeur was being leading up to the draft. He didn't show up to the combine.
Nope.
Didn't show up to his pro day. He's not showing up for things because he thinks he is the best quarterback in this draft class.
Correct.
So we get to the first couple of picks. Cam Ward selected. You get to the Giants pick. Of course, they couldn't pass on someone like Abdul Carter. And you're thinking, well, maybe the Saints are going to take him. That's what Mel Kiper said. It would be stupid if the Saints didn't take him. And I'm going to tell you what, Si. What's Saints did take him. Let me show you a video. So before I play this, Shedeur is like the 8th pick of the draft. Maybe the Saints are on the clock. It's right before the 9th, either because you only have like 7 to 10 minutes. I can't remember the exact time frame that you're on the clock, right? That you can decide. So you don't have much time to make a phone call.
In the first round, it's like 10 minutes.
I think that is accurate. I want to say 10 minutes. At most 10 minutes. So you don't have a lot of time to make a phone call, decide what player you're going to take. Like, you have to make these quick. Roger Goodell has to know. The people making the jerseys has to know. Like, it all has to be like bang, 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 because you don't have a lot of time to sit there and hog and go through.
Which is also why, like, when you're watching the live stream of the draft, how it's going to be a little delayed is because a whole bunch of dominoes have to fall before the public can really know about the draft pick.
Exactly. So now we're on number 9. This is the New Orleans Saints.
You got that call. You know what's going on? Way to go! Say that one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you. Way to go!
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Way to go! What does that mean?
What? What are you saying?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that? You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
So basically, that was
Man.
Mickey Loomis saying, "Hey, we're gonna ended up taking Kelvin Banks at 9. We're gonna wait till the second round to draft you." That's pretty much what he was saying. And you know what quarterback they took in the second round? It was none other than Tyler Shuck. But if you heard that phone
Louisville's
call,
finest.
if you heard that phone call, you would know that sounds nothing like senile Mickey Loomis. Like, it sounds nothing like him. You could tell that's a younger voice. I just don't know what he was thinking in terms of, hey, this is Mickey Loomis. Like, I'm excited, whatever. So word gets out, like, this is a prank call. If you saw Jeff's comment, he said, look, they did Shedeur dirty. And they did. Ends up being, I think his name's Jax. Jack or Jax. Yes. I can't remember if Jax. He's got the Jax. Yeah. Jax Ulbrich, which is Jeff Ulbrich's son, the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And I was so happy to hear that it happened to a franchise like the Atlanta Falcons.
Birds.
Because now they have been fined $250,000, and Jeff Ulbrich has been fined $100,000. So, Cy,
$350K.
Before we get into any more logistics, happy birthday, Jenna.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I love the name Jenna. I think Jenna is a nice name. But before we get into the logistics of the rest of the segment, what are your thoughts on this? The prank call. What does it mean for football going forward? And how do you prevent these type of issues from happening again?
I honestly, when I saw this initially, I really thought it was fake. I thought it was like when the accounts were coming out tweeting about it, I was like, oh, this has got to be fake. Like, there's no way this is real. And then to learn that how Jax found the number was he saw his dad's iPad just open and the number was sitting out. So he just either memorized or he like snapped a picture of it and then proceeded to do that. That's on all different levels, just really cruel and it's disrespectful and it's dirty. Like, imagine if you like, yes, I know Shedeur Sanders, he's this more polarizing character with how he's Deion's son, how he skipped a lot of the big things he needed to do in the pre-draft process because he had this cloud and this assumption and this ego that he's the best guy. But even then, he's still somebody who his goal and his dream is to play in the NFL and is to get drafted in the NFL draft. And he getting a call like that on what's supposed to be his biggest moment of his life, it's sickening. It's sickening. Nobody deserves something like that to happen. And as to what needs to like go on, what needs to crack down with this not happening again, because he wasn't the only person. Tyler Warren got prank called. Chase Lunt, offensive tackle from Connecticut, 6th round kid, got prank called like 15 different times leading up to his name officially being drafted. Like, things like this, it's crazy. And in fact, there was multiple players, it shouldn't happen. So these NFL only numbers need to actually stay NFL only numbers. Only 1 or 2 people should be allowed to call these numbers. How they keep getting leaked, or even it's just lucky guesses for people, that's not cool. That should not happen.
So I kind of wanted to pick your brain on how does this happen? How do we prevent it? So as I was researching for this segment, and laughing as I was researching because I kept seeing that Dirty Bird logo. And if you couldn't tell, I am a New Orleans Saints fan. I don't think I have anything New Orleans by me right
He's
now.
not
But
repping. He's not repping
I'm
here right now.
repping
But
my college right now. But if you look at kind of how they distribute these players' phone numbers, why in the world would the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons have a quarterback's phone number? What does he have any link to Shedeur Sanders? He doesn't.
he doesn't.
So this phone number was distributed to the entire front office and all the people in the war room. And that's like, I think they said it was about 50 people. So you have 50 people in the Atlanta Falcons room that have Shedeur Sanders' private phone number. That should not happen.
No.
It should be the highest people, the people that have to do with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe give it to the OC, give it to the head coach, give it to the GM, of course, probably the owner. Like, these are the guys that have to have the phone number.
In my opinion,
the janitor,
at most 10. At most 10 people should probably have this number. The fact that it is around 50, nah, that's a problem in itself. I don't care if you're in that war room. If I'm an assistant linebackers coach in that war room, why do I need a quarterback's number? I don't.
Well, the janitor wiping the floor shouldn't have Shedeur Sanders' phone number, but I'm not.
He probably does have it.
This is the deal, Si. Jeff Ulbricht's son is not 13. He's not 14. He is 21. He's our age. He's 21 years old. Making this phone call thinking it's funny. Now, I was not on the Shedeur hype train leading up to the draft. I never was on the Shedeur hype train leading up to the draft. But you have to think that even someone like Shedeur, who had his chest all puffed out and his shoulders wide, walking through doors not like this, not being able to walk through them, there's a little bit of emotional kind of investment once you get that phone call. Like, you get that phone call as long as you've been in college, as long as you've been in middle school, just working, perfecting your craft.
A lot of people, when they first touch that ball, their goal is, I'm going to make it to the NFL, period.
Especially when your dad's one of the GOATs of his position.
Yeah.
And now you are getting a phone call saying, hey, we're going to pick you up at the latest the second round. And you don't get drafted to the 5th. I'm glad it happened. He needed that humility. Like, he needed that hard. He needed to be humbled. And I'm glad it happened. But at the same time, we should not be
He took it right on his chin. He took it right on his chin. Constantly, it's thank you, God. God has first for everything.
I like that a lot.
And I got a lot of, there's a lot of respect on that end. But the fact that he got prank called, we don't need that.
It's not funny that Shedeur got prank called. It's funny that the Falcons got fined. So the issue with this is,
do you think they would have gone away without a punishment?
This was the big question. Was why are the Atlanta Falcons getting fined? Why isn't it just Jeff Ulbrich? And I think the only answer to that question is they're trying to set an example for the rest of
they don't want this happening
the NFL. Because let's keep this clear. If my dad was a defensive coordinator for an NFL team, I am not doing anything to jeopardize my dad's job. The carelessness of Jeff Ulbricht's son is crazy to me. Like, he does not care at all about his dad's job with the Atlanta Falcons. Heck, I would love a job with the Atlanta Falcons, even though they are my least favorite team of all time. Well, second least favorite. Ole Miss is number 1. But
there it is.
He's an Ole Miss kid.
He's an Ole Miss kid.
Jax Ulbrich?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Did you not know that? That makes it even
worse.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh, Jax Ulbrich. You know what Stephen A. Smith said on First Take?
What did he say?
Yesterday morning, he said, and I quote, Jax Ulbrich needs a butt whooping.
Agreed.
Stephen A. Smith was like, dude did not get whipped enough as a child, And Jeff Ulbrich seems like that dad that would just sling off a belt off his waist and just like start swinging. You know, he gives that type of aura and appearance. But the fact that it was his son that did this, thinks it's a funny joke, like it just crossed the line. It definitely crossed the line. As clown of a prospect Shedeur Sanders was, he was humiliated on. It was day 3. He had to wait to get drafted after being told, "Hey, you're going to be a first round guy. You're going to be taken in the first round." I will say,
it was his buddy by the looks of it. He was actually the one who called him, but you can see in the video that they took that he's just sitting on the couch next to his friend, like surprised, like shocked that it happened.
Yeah, he incriminated himself. He took a video of him calling Shedeur. What in the world? Did you want to get caught? Did you want? What was your mindset? Because, you know, me and you are really close to 21 years old as of right now. Correct. And I'll tell you what, there's not a single thing that goes through my mind where I'm going to prank call an NFL draft prospect, because I have too much respect for the game. I have too much respect for the people that are honing their craft, trying to get better.
I've had so many discussions and gotten to know so many people who are on that journey, who are trying to become an NFL player. And I've heard the stories. I've seen the work. Like, I'm not going to disrespect that. I'm not going to it is not my job or position or want to interfere with that. I got a brain on my head. I'm not doing something dumb like that. It's just it's crazy.
No, and I get it, but the fact that you have your front office who knows the entire number of a draft prospect is a little alarming. Like, as much as responsibility as the Atlanta Falcons need to take for this situation, the NFL needs to also take responsibility and change that. There is not a single person besides the top dogs that needs that number. Like I said earlier, the janitor does not need Shedeur Sanders' number, who's picking up a spiel in the back of the war room. He does not need Shedeur Sanders' private phone number. What is he going to do with it?
Nothing.
So the fact that you're giving everybody access to a prospect's phone number, it raises concerns. It raises alarms. So as much as the responsibility is for the Atlanta Falcons, the NFL needs to wake up and say, hey, we got to change this process. And they need to change it now.
They can't. I don't want to see this happening next year. I don't want to hear a single name of, blank was prank called, blank was prank called, blank was prank called. Like, I don't need that. Like, imagine if Arch Manning gets prank called next year. Imagine what's gonna happen.
No, don't talk about quarterbacks next year, because I'm gonna be a little sick if Garrett Nussmeier becomes a New Orleans Saint.
Anyways,
but that's all I got, Si.
That's all I got. That's great. You know, if we're gonna talk about numbers getting leaked, like Shedeur's number, let's leak the best car insurance number that we can give.
Here's to the grown-ups. Your car is now your office, stage, nursery. Shh, sorry. Erie Insurance offers products that lots of other companies don't. That's a big deal, and it's a good deal too. And with Erie, you get your own independent agent, not a giant corporate call center or some online robot. You meet with a real person, like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
If you are your parents, are your grandparents, are your cousin is looking for some good car insurance, feel free to call your guy, Jeff Fortempney, at 704-464-4544 and let him know. Ask him. If he had Shedeur Sanders' number, what would he do with it? Because me personally, I'm kind of curious. But that's enough about Shedeur. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but now because Bruce isn't here, because this is my table, we're gonna talk a little wrestling, little WWE. So I'm gonna welcome back Mr. Connor Davis. I'm gonna welcome our very special guest, our guy, the best Patriots fan ever, the man whose mic might be muted when he comes in, Mr. Jack Gaffney. Welcome back, fellas.
Where's Connor?
Connor, there he is.
I didn't know you wanted me for this segment.
Yes, Connor. Yes, Connor.
Okay.
Alrighty, y'all. So I'm sure y'all saw what WrestleMania. Y'all watched. We got our GOAT, John Cena, won his 17th title. So today we're gonna predict. We're gonna dabble on what his title reign is going to look like. Thoughts?
Connor, I guess this is you first.
Is it me first?
Yes.
Well, we have to take it in the chunks right now.
Yes.
The fact that we're seeing a babyface Randy Orton versus a heel
John Cena
is fun, but you have to think who's going to be the person to retire Cena. And I think the perfect way to end Cena's kind of title reign, I know we'll get there, is we have this match with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just spitballing here. Heel and face, John Cena, Randy. At some point, John Cena will probably turn back to face. Do y'all think that?
No.
You think he'll retire a heel?
Yes.
I think he's gonna retire a heel. They're too, at least in this very moment, they're too deep in it to just switch him. Yeah, so free Mello.
You don't think he'll ever? You don't think in a year there will ever be a character change?
He's retiring.
He's not gonna make it to the end of the year. He's done.
He's done in December. He's made it very clear.
That's the end of the year.
You said next year.
No, I said the end of the year.
I'm pretty sure you said next year, but no, I don't think they switch it. I don't see the reason. If he was ending in like next December and not this upcoming December, maybe. But with the time that's left, he'll see all the way.
Well, I mean, this wasn't even planned until like January because Ari Emanuel said in the call to old Dwayne, he's like, "Hey, listen, we just need to get these tickets for this B pay-per-view so you can, launch this story that you're going to be an essential part in, and then you're just going to dip for the next 2 months. You're going to leave Cody and John out to dry."
And that he did.
Awesome.
The reason I want to give y'all this like proposition and see what y'all think about this, because the reason I was talking about John Cena turning back to face is John Cena probably wins at Backlash. Okay, there's probably
he wins at Backlash.
You think he's dropping the title to Randy Orton in 2025?
He will. I think he'll probably
He will.
He'll probably like slap the ref or something.
Yeah, they're going to do the No Way Out 2008 finish.
Yeah,
100%.
He's probably going to slap the ref.
They should do it immediately. That's
how it's going to end.
5 seconds in.
Think about they revert back to like the normal John Cena Randy Orton rivalry, and Randy Orton is the one that retires him as a heel, chasing the record.
That would be so bad. You're telling me the end game of turning John Cena heel for the first time is Randy Orton getting the title back?
Who gets the title? Who retires him?
Well, I mean, I really don't know, man. It could be anyone. Literally,
it could be anyone. That's why I'm giving you this proposition.
Please,
I think I know.
Might be a Massachusetts guy. Who knows? Might drop the might give the rub to a Massachusetts guy. I couldn't really think of anyone who could be that kind of guy who could use a rub. Hasn't really been utilized well, and could probably do the job in TD Garden for. I don't know who that could be. If I had to guess,
maybe Carmelo Hayes.
I would like that. I would like that.
Just maybe.
Maybe. But again, it's gonna be mainly SmackDown stuff. So unless they do, But I don't know when they're doing the draft, so I have no clue
Mm-hmm.
if they want to move anyone over, because it feels pretty clear to me that it's not going to be Braun Breaker. His crowding, he's getting the Batista run from what?
Oh, we got to talk about that. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about that.
Real hoop.
Oh my gosh.
Real hoopers. But
I saw
White AEW, but real hoop. Incredible.
I saw that they're trying to find a fourth person, right? And they were
No.
like, "Oh well, Austin Theory matches that."
Austin
Just think about
Theory.
this.
No, get him
Just
out of
think
here.
about this. Think about this. Think about this.
That is fine. Side, get him out of
Think
here. Get him
about
out
this.
of
Think
here.
about this. This
No,
is what I
get him
saw,
out.
and I thought it was cool based on like the connection.
It's not going to happen. But
So
thank you for your.
they need their what? They need their Randy Orton, right? So they have their Triple H, their
Just let him
Batista, and they
go.
have the
I
Ric
wanna see where
Flair.
he's going to go with this.
They need their Randy Orton. So you get the young guy. People are saying like Austin Theory. It doesn't have to be Austin Theory, but just hear me out. You get 4 people, right?
Right.
And Seth Rollins is already like Triple H's successor. He runs the pedigree. He's already there, so he already has it. What if they bring a 4th person, say it's Austin Theory, whoever, and they call the faction Revolution?
That would be so bad.
He's a revolutionary.
They're not going to add a 4th person, though.
The Revolution was a WCW stable. What?
Anyway.
Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko.
Shout out Dean Malenko. But no,
I don't know
anyways,
we were allowed to name drop Chris Benoit in 2025.
Oh, we did.
I mean, he was there.
he was there.
He was
But-
WCW champion. The Revolution.
Sorry, back to John Cena. Back to John Cena.
Back to John Cena. So-
Sorry.
I'm gonna name off some names that he's bound to go through before retiring it. I don't want to name my guy X. I just want to see. I want to name some other names first, but we know we're gonna get John versus CM Punk. That feels
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's 100% happening.
That's gonna be the Money in the Bank match. I feel like we get a John versus Roman at some point. It's less likely, but I've knowing their obsession with Roman Reigns, they could.
I could see it, but it's like he's taking time off now. And then when he comes back,
Mhm.
he's clearly doing something with Rollins and then Braun.
Mhm.
So
I think we'll get. I feel like we'll get a one-off with LA Knights just to say that they had the match.
Well, I mean, Cena's mainly a SmackDown guy, so I could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm. And then not knowing when the draft is really affecting me because I want Gunther versus John at some point, but as long as Gunther's
That's
still
not
on Raw,
happening.
we can't get that, which really sucks for me. I would pay so much money to see that match happen just because I just want to see Gunther drop the living hell out of John.
My thing now is I'm just no longer expecting good matches at this point. I going into that Mania match, I'm thinking we're getting work rate Demon Cena like 15 to 17 Cena.
Mhm.
That was not the case. So my expectations for these matches are just kind of just whatever. I think I'm far more interested in the mid card, really of both major companies at this point, but specifically WWE. And I just don't really know if Cena's going to be able to like work like true main event caliber matches at this point. And I feel like if that's the case, you have to pick the right guy for him to go over on. And you could argue Cody. Like I think Cody winning it would be fine. I just don't think
that's kind of my
story 2.0.
Yeah,
that's what I
could work.
Like they'll do at
be
some
my
point,
top
like Saturday Night Main Event in December. They'll have Cody get it back. That's kind of what I think will happen, but I just what do y'all think? Who is y'all's dream person that he loses it to?
El Hayes. You called up Braun Breaker from NXT, and he's been dynamite. He's been one of their best outright performers, period, since they've called him up. Who else have they called up since then? Since really the initial 2.0 group. Him, he's been booked really, really good. I would say Lyra Valkyria kind of in that group has been booked really good. Really, a lot of their 2.0 NXT guys that they've brought up and booked great, except Carmelo Hayes. And right now they're on the same brand because a lot of Cena's upcoming dates are like SmackDown. Like the Raw he worked the night after Mania was like the last scheduled Raw appearance he has for like months and months and months. It's basically the SmackDown and a couple of Saturday Night's main events. If there's someone you can give the rub to, you know he can talk, you know he can work, and he can be every bit as good as a Braun. You know, he can be every bit as good as Braun Breaker. They just haven't really given him the opportunity. And I think the key thing here is you have to make a star. Like, which is why, like, the idea of him losing the Randy Orton, like, really, that's the end game here. He loses the Randy Orton at, like, year 45. Like, all right, sure. Cody would be fine. I don't think it would be great, but, like, if that's the end game, like, you can sell me on that, probably. And then, who else? Like, I just can't see them doing it with, like, Dom or, like, Ilja Dragunov.
Oh, Ilya would be great. They won't.
Ilya would be awesome. They never do it.
They would never do it, but... So, with what they're doing with Sami Zayn, you would think that I don't think this will happen. I don't think that's Sami's end game. But there's a chance he wins. I mean, I don't know.
I'm still on Randy Orton. I don't know. I like my WWE source over here is saying that the Legend Killer might return.
I don't hate
Randy Orton's like he's like 10 years away from getting AARP benefits. He is a legend now. He's going to be the guy getting sent to pasture.
And I still think Randy Orton has good matches. We're not talking about.
I don't disagree
about John Cena here.
No, I don't disagree with the Randy Orton point. It's just I just don't know who that benefits at this stage, other than Randy Orton.
He doesn't have to hold a title for a year and a half.
This is like a.
You talk about Carmelo.
This is a massive storyline. You have to have like
Carmelo.
You have to do this perfect.
The story
they wouldn't have turned
already there for Carmelo and Randy. If you want Carmelo to be the end game.
Yeah, but you got to build him up. That's why we're waiting until December. You got to build him up.
Exactly. And if Randy, what would be a better story? Randy or Carmelo or Cena and Carmelo?
Cena and Carmelo Hayes, 100%. Both Massachusetts kid. One guy in the way out, one guy in the way up. And then you do a blow off.
Jack's really selling me on this logic, and that's why
it's good if they build it up, but there's nothing there right now.
That's why. I don't trust Road Dogg Jesse. Oh, don't even Road Dogg. This dude has 3 hours to work with on the USA Network every week. Three whole American hours. You understand?
And right now, all they're using him for is a tag team with the Miz.
We can't get Carmelo Hayes anything. We can't get Andrade. Remember Andrade? Remember him? Remember they brought him back? He had that best of 7. He's done nothing since. Remember that? Nope. It was pretty cool.
Even then, technically, they're still tied 3-3. So they do the 7th match.
Remember Dragon Lee? Remember that? Remember that ex-IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champ? Remember him? Remember when he did things? That was pretty cool.
He got benched for Ray Phoenix.
I was informed by Nick Khan that they don't bench guys. So I don't know what we're talking. I was informed very explicitly by Nick Khan that we don't sign guys to bench him. I don't know why you'd be implying that, Connor Davis. I don't like that.
Okay, I'm gonna end with a name so we can think on it. Ricky Saints.
I don't see him doing it. I would be in.
I might as well have played the ad because of that. What in the world are you talking about? Ricky Saints dethroning John Cena?
Trust guys.
That's a hooper. I want to
real ball knowers know why we're saying Ricky Saints.
That's right.
In 2025.
Okay,
but
yes.
Read that boy.
That's enough about wrestling.
I'm so happy for him.
Anyways, that's enough about wrestling. Let's talk about a little.
They're just laughing. He was suggesting Austin Theory going to the fucking Rollins group. Get out of here.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And when you call Jeff Retepney at 704-464-4544, go ahead and ask him. After you tell him the TDT team sent you, not Coach Bruce, he's not here today, but go ahead and ask him who's the person that retires Cena at the end of the year. See what he
got
thinks.
options, fellas. We got options, fellas. But it's time for the main event. But before we introduce it, we gotta bring on our favorite.
Can you announce them like everybody's favorite announcer, Alicia Taylor?
I can't do that, Connor. If you want to do it, by all means.
Give him the Ricochet AEW girl to show him some love.
I don't like Alicia Taylor. I'm just putting that out there. I said that as a pure joke. No,
anyways,
I don't like her.
Anyways, before we get to the main event, we got to bring on our favorite bearded man, the
only
Ohio
bearded
State fan. He is actually the only bearded man, but he's the best bearded man. I don't care if you walk outside and see him with a beard. You're blind. It doesn't exist. It's just his. It's Coach Kenny. How we doing, Kenny?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Doing good. We're doing good.
I'm the only one who clapped. All right. I see what it is. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Give him a golf clap.
Anyways, the NFL draft was last week, boys. So I think it is only right that we bring back the old tier list because there's no Coach Bruce ain't here. You know dang well we're gonna have a tier list. It's what we do. Sorry, guys. But we're going to rate every team's NFL draft from what we think was the best to what we think is the worst. And let me tell y'all, they were bad drafts.
This was a lot.
There was a lot of not great drafts.
Now, I'm going to share the screen. I have a list of them in alphabetical order, so that's where we'll go because I have every single person drafted per team, so it'll help us out. We'll be able to see it, then make the connection. The thing is, it's on NFL.com. I didn't realize this until right before the show. They already have draft grades on there. They are awful. They're like all A's and B's because the NFL
we don't do that around here.
You think everybody gets an A or a B, Jack?
Not everyone, but I would say
like I'm telling you, once we go through it, you will not see a grade under a B minus.
Yeah, there was no C's at all when I saw it.
Exactly. No C. But to me, I'm telling you, there will be C's.
To me,
there was a few D's too.
Yeah.
I had a few in the D's. I don't think I had anyone in the F, but I
have one F, but I already told Connor what my F is. He didn't like it, so.
No, I did. Because you have to take into consideration, okay, let's set some ground rules before we go. Are we basing on value picks, team needs, everything? That's what I'm assuming. Everything. Value picks, even if you don't like the player, if they got him for a pretty high value, I would take that into consideration. That's why I didn't care for size F, but he'll explain why he put an F when we get there.
I will explain why
I'm going to share my screen, see if y'all can see it.
We did try this beforehand, so it should
Can you see this?
Oh, yes. My God.
Is this good?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, you got to add the
Titans.
Okay.
We actually, my bad, Connor. I did forget to tell you that we have to add the Titans at some point, or you do. But what is the Titans last?
Yeah, this is based on the, I think the finishing order from not this last season, but 2023.
How do you put the Titans on here?
We'll just do it. Don't worry about it. We'll draw a picture for them.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that on my side.
Bang. So we'll do that later, and he's gonna go do it now. Man, what a professional! What a professional!
You should have told me that we had. I
forgot. Okay, we were yapping about stuff. My bad.
Let's see if I got Cam Ward in one of these things. Here we go.
Cam Ward's just the placeholder.
There we go. There's our Titan.
Cam Ward's the placeholder. There we go.
That's what I have.
We will take that.
So we're starting off with the beautiful Arizona Cardinals. That is not their grade. So.
Yeah, no, God, no.
This is their grade per NFL.com, but I think they had a great draft. But I'm gonna let y'all speak first.
It's still inflated, though.
I think they had a great draft, but you can speak. Whoever wants to go first.
All right, I'll start off because I really only want to say two things. Walter Nolan at the 16, I had a feeling they would do it. Getting Will Johnson at the 47 really should not have happened, but I understand why he fell. Injury concerns, second best corner on the board, but falling to 47, that is A+ value just in those 2 picks alone. Rest of the board, I can't really say anything bad because there's 2 Ohio State players there, and if I say one thing bad, the bearded man down there can get me. So that's all I gotta say to that.
I like this pick. Denzel Burke. I didn't know he was going to get drafted that late. I like Denzel Burke.
I think Denzel Burke in the 5th is a clear steal.
Yeah.
He does have some coverage issues, but he's an absolute beast when it comes to tackling and ball hawking. So I think that in the 5th round, that's a real value pick. But overall, Cody Simon's a great person too. A lot of upside, but a lot of potential. He's going to need to do some work though to catch up to the rest of the league. Same as Sai said, Will Johnson falling that low too is kind of a great value pick too. So I'd give him a solid B in my head.
I think I had him as B plus. I think I would probably just go B if we're not going to do pluses and minuses.
Let's go flat.
Yeah, because you have to be really conservative with these because all these are going to be A's and B's. I originally thought this was an A, but after I saw the rest of the teams, I was like,
it's more of a B.
I mean, Johnson at 47th insane. Then Jordan Birch is not a guy that I was like super high on, but I know there were enough people who had him as like a top 60 guy, and they got him in round 3.
My least favorite team, I think, is next.
Dirty Birds.
D.
You didn't like this.
And it's not even because of the players necessarily. Because I think if you look at the players here, they got a good haul. Jalen Walker, I think it was just outside my top 10 on my big board. My problem with the James Pierce pick is not the player. I know there's some character concerns, more so just
the fact that you gave up a future first for him.
Exactly. When you could have
and that in itself,
like realistically, would you have rather have given up a future first when you potentially could be looking at 2 new starting tackles for 2026?
Right.
Because Jake Matthews isn't a lock beyond this year, and then Caleb McGarry is a free agent at the end of the year. And you give up a first-round draft pick next year to go and get James Pierce, which I think was a good, as far as like where I am on my big board, good value pick. Why wouldn't you just trade it up, I don't know, like 4 or 5 spots and gotten Donovan Ezeraku? Like that to me would have been the much better play here.
I think James Pierce Jr. was my second best edge in this class. I think D's too low. Especially Xavier Watts.
Watts is a good pick, and then
I think that was fantastic.
I think Billy
Bowman in the 4th.
But like, I just hate the process. The process of being like, we're going to give up an extra first. When really just
pick was great. I think every pick here is solid. It's just this pick right here that is the question. What you gave up to get him?
That move alone should dock them a ton of points for that. Like
exactly 100%.
NFL has a B. So I mean,
I'm thinking C. I don't think D. I think D's too low because you got really good players here for where you drafted them.
I'll concede on that. That's fine.
I'm okay.
I think their first 4 picks are all pretty good. I just hate the idea of being like, we're going to jump 20 spots.
I get it, but D's kind of low just for that one thing.
So
are we all in agreement?
Go with C initially. We can.
Yeah, we can
worst
always
case scenario. We can change stuff around if need be.
Yeah. Right, who's our next bird team?
The Ravens. Man, this draft class was great. I enjoyed this.
I mean, the Malachi Starks pick was just you'd see it coming a mile away. You'd see that coming from like a clean 5 miles out. My number 5 player in this draft. I think I have to dock the points. I had to dock him at least something for the Mike Green pick. Because I think it's not great when Ian Rappaport, like seconds after the pick, is like, like several teams had him off their board. And I saw a tweet by Bert Breer, which I thought was kind of interesting and he makes an interesting point. Some teams said something along the lines of, even if he was innocent, he's been in that position twice. So they had him off, which I can definitely understand.
Yeah, there's all sorts of character questions when we get to the draft day too, and
this is like more than just character concern. This is like alleged like assault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is.
I'm not trying to take anything away from that either. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, 100%. But
I think
Emory Jones was a solid pick.
I think he struggled this year. I mean,
3rd rounder for a SEC starting right tackle. I don't hate that.
But there was a lot of it was the Will Campbell show on that offensive line. So a lot of stuff was kind of watered down for Emory. If you go back and actually watch LSU, he struggled a lot this past year. So,
but that's
I
why
don't
you take
hate
him in
him,
the third,
but
and you
for
can
a
build that up.
third,
For a third,
it's okay. Yeah,
their late round
I
picks are
watch a
great.
lot of SEC football.
Yeah,
so
LeJohn
I know
West,
how he
the guy I
plays.
heard a lot
Peebles
of
and
good things about.
Team are really good value picks in the 6.
It's our dancing guy.
Yes, it's Warren Boy himself.
Those final 4 picks.
I know you see a kicker on there. You go, why'd take a kicker? We don't need to talk about that. If
More
you know,
character concerns.
Yeah.
Current roster character concerns.
Yeah.
I really like Bial Konai out of Western Michigan in the 6. This Malachi Starks with the 27 is really good value. Yes, we got Mike Green character concerns, but also look how many players on that board compared to other teams.
This is an A for me. I'm just gonna
This
say
is an A for me.
I think it's an A, and I like
I
the
would say
fact that
B
they're
if you
taking
guys
risks
wanna
on
go
lower
base.
tier teams.
You're being Patriots GM Jack Gaffney's being real harsh on the grades here.
That's a good thing.
Well, most of the time you get dinged for picking a kicker, but obviously with everything that they got going on with Tucker, it makes sense.
Yeah,
So
Luke's a good kicker.
I don't actually deduct any points for that pick at all. It's questionable. That's the only thing.
Talk about a mediocre draft. We got the Buffalo Bills now.
No, they got my guy. They got my guy, D.L. Walker. And
They got the zesty edge.
Yes.
The biggest bird
zesty
edge. Like a 90-inch wingspan.
But you took Jackson Hollis with your 5th round pick as a strict tight end, a blocking tight end. That's with a 5th rounder.
Do you want to restore
that
the
for
feeling?
Georgia Tech?
Do you want to restore the feeling as running out of 13 tech or 13 personnel the entire game?
No.
You don't want to do that? I don't know why.
I'm okay. You could have gotten him as a UDFA.
You don't want 50 carries a game, 3 tight ends on the field at all. Man,
tight end attack the whole game.
The entire game.
I don't actually.
Power eye. Let's go.
You could do some really good power eye, but I just the draft's kind of mid. Maxwell Harrison, you probably could have got in the 2nd round. C.J. Sanders, I like. Leonard Jackson's and
it is kind of mid. I might give this one a D.
Yeah,
this is mid.
I was gonna say C. You could maybe talk me in the B, but I'll say probably C.
What do you think, Coach Skinny?
I'd lean more towards C. It's very average, right? It's very right there in the middle. It looks like they're filling in some of their potential gaps that they've got coming up, but it's just they could have done better, or they could have traded some of their picks to do some different things. So I
beefed up D tackle. They got another DB.
I will die on the hill that D.L. Walker will be a guy for them.
Oh, he's like the only
he was top 50 for me. I was way higher on him than most, but I think he's gonna be a guy for them.
It's the same thing in the 5th round with Hancock too, out of Ohio State. It's a decent value pick for where he's at potential wise. They can take that risk in the 5th with him. He could turn into something real special, or he could be a slightly above average cornerback around the league. Probably a journeyman type guy. But yeah,
I'm gonna keep going for Kenny Glaze's Ohio State players like Mel Kiper and Shedeur Sanders.
Nathan Ransom. Here we go.
Talking about Glaze.
Here we go.
We'll get to some Ohio State guys.
All right, guys. I'm seeing a lot of parallel here with this draft class.
Yeah, so my initial reaction to the Panthers was a solid C. I wasn't really big on McMillan, especially at the 8 spot for wide receiver. I do like this. I can't pronounce his name. Scourton pick, the 2nd round guy from Texas A&M. I think he's Scourton.
Yes,
I think he's pretty decent.
Can you pronounce this one, Kenny?
I'm not even. Yeah,
Princely. He's a good guy.
Umanielen.
He will only ever be Princely.
Senior Bowl legend.
I liked Lathan Ransom out of Ohio State. Obviously, I'm going to say that, but yeah,
really,
it's very average.
Really?
Hey, no, but in all seriousness, though, Ransom is a very good hitter, and he is able to play a little bit better coverage than Denzel Burke was this past season. So I do like Ransom a little bit better.
I really like these 2 picks value wise. Mitch Evan in the 5th. Jimmy Horn was not that bad for Shedeur. I don't hate these 2 picks. I like them.
Yeah, but does that bump you up to a B, though, just on those last 2 picks?
Notre Dame guy bumps you down to an F. Like, what are we doing here?
No, Jack.
Now,
No,
Day
he was,
one,
he was pretty good though.
After day one, I would say this was a D because I just didn't like the idea of them not going with an edge rusher. Then Dan Morgan said, "We're just gonna get 2 of them on day 2," and
But
I don't hate the idea going with
Princely's arguably better than Scorton, and that's where I draw the line.
friend of the
They could've-
program, Scott Karasik had him as his top outright edge period in his entire draft. I personally don't believe that, but
So
I
what are we
trust him.
thinking?
And
C.
then
It's a mid.
I would go A. I would go A. Actually, I thought this was a pretty solid.
You
draft.
think A?
The Panthers.
I was
A?
gonna go B on this one.
After because I didn't. I thought you had to go edge, and they got 2 starting caliber edge guys in day 2,
Okay. We'll
which is
go
why
B.
I didn't like.
I could go
Yeah,
B. I don't know if
it
I go A. That's high.
Yeah, I think A's
Wait,
too
what-
high.
Yeah,
go B.
yeah, we can go
B.
B.
All right.
Yeah, definitely
Keep
a
going. We
good
got her.
draft.
Yes.
Oh,
the Bears.
You didn't get an Ohio State guy, but here, you lead it off.
First of all, I think Loveland was a stretch, especially when you had Warren right there available. I think Warren's the better tight end overall.
There it is.
Didn't hate the Burden pick necessarily. What?
Trapilo's
Keep
a
going,
big boy.
keep going.
Oh, sorry. But overall, I think it's a very average draft. I guess Loveland makes sense according to what I've been reading about Johnson's offensive system.
He does.
But I would still have gone for the better tight end overall. So I would give them a C, just based on that.
I would go lower.
I don't like their late round picks.
Ruben Hypotley.
Ruben Hypotley.
That was one of the
really bad pick.
4 through 7
that
was
was a
terrible.
gigantic reach.
This can't be higher than a D, Kenny. Come on, what are we talking
I
about?
agree.
This
You're
can't
right.
be
You're
a
right.
C.
Because you know what? I would have
There's
traded
no
the
way.
farm. I would have traded the farm to move up to get Genty too. So you're right.
They were trying to do that apparently.
Did
well,
you
they
need
stuck
this
at it
pick
then.
with your first? Did you need this pick in
Yes.
round 2?
Luther
With
Burns
our
first
first
guys
round
that
two
they get
pick.
open over the middle. It's gonna turn like these 2
Arguably,
more
the
games
only
and, like
two
these
good
2 more games.
picks are Shamar Turner and Austin Trapilo, and that's saying something.
On the Trapil, I'll give you a nugget about him. He's worked with Dante Scarnecchia, iconic Patriots offensive line coach at BC, because he'll just go to BC every couple times a week and work with the offensive lineman with Bill O'Brien. So I think that was a really good pick. Loveland's gonna be like the guy. If he's the guy in that offense by the end of the year, I would not be stunned. He's just the guy who will get open.
He just
That's-
seems
that's-
like a copy and pasted Cole Kmet.
No, he's a strict move tight end.
Yeah,
Oh,
he plays a lot more vertical.
Yeah, he's gonna be really good for them. I like Burden as a guy who can be a yak machine.
okay. Well, I can't go higher than a D. I don't know about y'all.
I think
Really, I like this draft a lot.
I don't know how you like it, but
I liked it, but if we're gonna
I don't
look
hate the
at
Bears or anything.
If we're gonna look at everything,
I don't like the
we
draft.
gotta. I'm D next.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. I actually like this draft.
You overrate teams and then hella underrate them too.
I'm
Ooh.
sorry. I don't agree with the Loveland pick at all. I know it should work out for Johnson's offense, but I hated it. I'm sorry.
I would have probably have liked to see him go tackle first, but I think once Banks came off the board, that probably kind of.
I get it, but then you could also move back and stock up the picks, but which is what the Bears have been doing the past couple of years. But nope, we just decided to go for Loveland.
I mean, there wasn't really a lot of teams trying to trade up, though. That was
That's
the thing.
true. You're right.
Okay, we got the Bengals.
D.
I don't hate this
Yeah,
draft.
D.
D. They stretch
like-
all other
I like
picks.
the
I
Marshall
really
pick.
like this pick.
Demetrius Knight, I think, will be solid for them,
Yeah.
like a flying guy.
That's
But,
a
like,
guy.
They even admitted on air that they know it's a reach, but that's been their guy for a while, so they kind of had
Barrett
to go for
Carter in the 4th.
This
We
time
don't
last
have
year,
that,
Brooks
fellas.
not
We
This
don't
is
go D,
just
we
such
can
a
go next.
boomer bust prospect.
no,
You don't know what you're getting.
you can throw him on the interior. You can throw him on the edge. Yes,
I know
and
where
again,
you can throw him jackets if he's going to produce wherever you're throwing him.
And I don't think he will. I don't
It's
think
a
he produces
production
on the
question.
inside. In
Not
the NFL,
a-
I don't think he's an inside guy. I think he'll struggle a lot. And especially they're trying to replace Sam Hubbard at this point, right? So I don't think
yeah, Sam
Stewart-
Hubbard was not great.
And Logan
not great,
Wilson
but I don't
wasn't
think
that
Stewart
great
fills
either.
that gap either.
Logan
Oh, he
Wilson
was-
wasn't that great either.
He's a pure off-ball backer. That's not what Shamar Stewart is.
Well, you have 2 linebackers right here.
Yeah, I think this.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's to me.
D.
This
I
is one of
can't
the-
go higher than a C, but if y'all want to go D, that's fine. feel
C or
like
D?
this is a D.
I'm not really gonna fight you here.
Coach Kenny, it's your segment.
I say D.
Okay.
Bang. Next.
Oh, here you go, Cy. This is all you.
All right, y'all. This is my F. And you're looking at it and you're going, oh, but Mason Graham's a really good pick. Schweizinger with the first pick, the second is really good. Quishon Judkins going to be a stud. Fannin in the
really
third,
like that.
even though you really don't need a tight end, but they're going to play him everywhere. You look at the top 4 picks. You go, okay, those are great picks. But then you look at the bottom 3 picks, and you go, why is Dylan Gabriel a third round quarterback?
They burned a top 100 pick on Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that one more. Okay, Dylan Gabriel,
94 to be
an objectively good college quarterback. At what point in this process was he ever considered a top 100 guy?
But his initial ball speed was 75 miles an hour.
He's also 5'11", 5'10", maybe.
That's fine.
That's on the stat sheet too. You know he's shorter than that. Like,
I've actually stood next to him, and I'm about 5'9.5" myself. And he's about my height.
right.
He was shorter than me. Drew
Brees was like 5'5". He was fine.
Gapped him up. He was a great guy, great fella. But
No, I'm not saying anything about his character or anything like that. I like the guy. He's a solid guy.
Mhm.
And he might be a solid leader, but he's now in a full quarterback room that also
They
has
drafted a
Shedeur
quarterback
Sanders.
after him that's better than him. Like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
They
If we're gonna go on-
they traded back to get Mason Graham when they could have gotten Travis Hunter.
They could have gotten Travis fucking Hunter.
That alone should not put you higher than a C at
They
all.
waited until the last possible second to be like, yeah, we don't want Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Browns were going
Jaguars
to Brown.
said, "Hold my beer, I got you."
Like, and the sad thing is, those first 4 picks are all really good. That's the sad thing here.
That's just,
I would have gone Travian Henderson over Quinton Judkins, but still really good first 4 picks.
And you traded up to get both your quarterbacks, so you burned draft capital on Dylan Gabriel, and you burned draft capital on Shedeur.
Like, if you knew you were going to get Shedeur, which I don't think they were going to. I think that was
they
Jimmy
guilt trip. They I think I
100% of Jimmy Haslam ball. But
Yeah, the way that room reacted once they picked him, that was the ownership.
So what are we thinking here for the
So
Cleveland?
that's why it's my F.
I think it's a D. I could see
That
it being
low?
helped.
I'm good with that. I'm okay
Cy
with
was
that.
so close to putting me.
We almost got it, guys. But I can.
They
I'm
should be punished for skipping on Hunter. Like, I don't know how you pass on a generational talent like that.
I don't know. I don't know why. They had 5 months to be like, do we want to do this?
Yeah, I don't know how Dallas gets an A- either, though.
Listen.
All right,
if
first
they-
pick's a reach. That's a pretty good pick. That's a pretty good pick.
It brings me no joy to say this, gentlemen. This is an A. This is absolutely an A.
I'd go B.
In my mind.
I'd go
So
B because
in my mind this is an A, but if you want to call this a B, that's fine.
You
Just based on the
reached on
story.
you reached on Booker, and the
I
rest
agree
are
that
good.
Ezra Revel's really good value. Jaden Blue is honestly probably going to be their leading running back by the end of the year.
Yes.
I feel like Shamar James, a little bit of a reach, but I love what he did at the Senior Bowl, so I'm good with that. Slight reach.
My thing with Booker is, yes, he's
Johnny Cornelius is 6th, though. You double dipped on OTs when, I mean, okay.
Well, they are trying to rebuild their offensive line, though. They've had a lot of issues the past couple of years, so it makes sense to kind of double dip in this one. But
and like
because this draft was heavy on the offensive line, so it does make sense. But I could go B.
I can go B. I just don't love the 2 DTs you took in the late rounds. I don't really love either of them.
Their D line was not good outside of Osa.
Exactly. So I mean, it's like
their interior was crappy.
Their bodies
were like 3 defenders on that entire team, and you added 2 instant starters with your.
That's why I can't give them
also
an A,
seeing
Jack, because they waited so long to draft the tackle.
No, but listen, they needed another edge rusher. You got Donovan Ezeraku. You might have the worst corner room in the league. I'm sorry. Dewan Bland and Trevin Diggs. Those are 2 Dollar General brand Asante Samuels. They exclusively.
Okay, Texas, Dallas.
And now you just got a big body outside corner who can line up and play really good. And, now, granted, the thing with Revel, even beyond the ACL, is that he really only had like the 1 year of starting experience. But like, if you're looking at like the prototypical number one outside boundary corner. It kind of looks something like him. Like mid 190s, 6'3", long arm span.
All right, what do we think about the Broncos?
Ooh. I love the Janae Barron pick.
I like the Pat Bryant pick, actually.
Pat Bryant, yeah, it's another great pick. Yeah.
I think
Pat Bryant
that's a
was
great
really nice.
value pick, and I think that fits the offense very well.
Everybody was saying that RJ Harvey with the 60th would be a stretch, but
it was, but I like the player, so I have no
But-
It's a
problem.
little bit of a reach.
Sean Payton's gonna make this
A
kid
slight
a
reach.
monster.
Oh, maybe, maybe not.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
The
If he
fact
could-
that they can they're going to be able to throw Janae Barron literally in any
Anywhere.
secondary position now.
It's
Because you
gonna
have
be great.
Pan, Moss, and then
Hufanga.
Hufanga probably roll down the box. So you can literally throw him
That's
wherever.
so
you-
odd. Yeah,
Crazy. Like that to me, that's the best secondary in the league.
you get
Hands
that
down, that's the
pointer off the
secondary.
punter. You get that pointer off the punter.
I think right here you kind of just are praying which one of them is better because once Harold Perkins got injured, he really didn't live up to what he was supposed to this past year.
True.
I've heard really good things about Quay Robinson. I know he hasn't really been like a big starter, but I think there's a lot of potential with him just based on the things that I've read.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of upside. It just depends on how
Me?
And then
it's
how about being the punter that gets drafted to Denver? How about that? That's got to be like you see the Denver area code, and it's like, oh, we're gonna be putting up 70-yard net bombs over the next 4 years.
I don't hate the punter pick. I don't hate. The
I don't
punter
either.
pick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm a good B.
B.
I need
Yeah,
a
this is like high end to B for me. This is
Yeah,
a very
I
solid
agree.
draft.
almost
is great.
almost an A. I really like that one.
This is great.
The
Just
more
a
you look
couple
at
reaches.
it, the better it looks. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
On the topic of reaches.
I'm sorry.
topic
I'll be
of
the
This
first
draft-
one to say
This
Tyreek
draft
Williams.
was pure cheeks. I'm sorry.
I'll be the first one to say Tyreek Williams. That was a stretch. I think he was a mid.
Isaac
second round.
Tesla, you
I'll
are
let
a
you know
major
where I have
reach.
it. Like,
This was
But
such
listen,
cheeks. Oh
you
my
s-
god.
You say that. You say he's a reach. At
Also,
this point, I'm willing to trust the Lions. If they think
I'm
there's
really
something
trust
there with him,
Lions too, but you kind of
yeah,
have to.
I am more than willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
This was cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm not giving nobody the benefit of the
I
doubt.
had-
This draft was
I had
reach.
Williams- I have Williams as my number 37 guy, just for reference.
Low key reach.
Okay, so early second then. Okay.
Yeah, like that to me was like end of the first round. You don't think he's going to be there with your second round there. I have no.
Yeah, this
zero-
was an early second. Yeah.
They got Ratledge. I think that's a good fill in for who did they just lose? Zeitler.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about Roger Saffold for some reason. Like that
I
can't
don't
be
even
right.
think they got the best wide receiver on Arkansas. I thought Armstrong played a lot better this year.
And Armstrong went undrafted.
And he went undrafted. Was it a player issue or
I
I don't-
couldn't tell you.
I don't know because he played I watched Arkansas several times this season, especially at home here. Armstrong was a lot like the wide receiver.
So then, is it the body of work? Did Armstrong not have
I-
good of season
I don't know. I
prior
haven't
to
looked
this one?
into it. I haven't looked into it. But this is the
'Cause
first
it's
time
either
I'm
that or
hearing his
character
name with the
issues.
round 3 on it. So I think
I heard a
this is
little
reach,
bit.
too.
I heard a little bit about him, like at the very end of the process, and people were like, "No, this kid's kind of solid. People should be talking about him more."
Oh well, this looks cheap
Sure
to
enough.
me. I don't know what y'all
Yeah.
want to go.
On
It-
on
it's just
paper,
cheap
you
strap.
kind of got to put this.
I'm
C.
thinking D.
Based on the scale we have, I'd say C. This is a fine
Okay.
draft. Not great, but definitely not awful. I think there were worse.
I'd
Coach
drafts.
say-
Kenny, don't let Tyreek Williams persuade you.
He's
I'm
good.
gonna go-
Because Katie,
I'm
this
gonna
is
go
your
C.
segment.
I'm
You
gonna
can
go
let
C.
Tyreek Williams persuade you. We want to put it in C. We put it in C.
All right.
I think it has potential, and like Jack says, you got to trust the Lions at some point because what they're doing right now is working. So
Yeah, yeah. If that doesn't work out, then so be it. But I'm absolutely willing to let that one ride out.
you know,
All right, Green Bay. The first time since 2002 they draft a receiver in the first round.
I didn't hate that pick either.
Yeah, he was my number one pure receiver in this draft. If you take out Hunter,
Go.
There's no way the Saints fans chanting "Go Pack, go!" That's crazy.
No, I actually very much dislike the Packers because of MJ Hurley. But it was in Green Bay this year, so you have to give credit where credit is due.
No,
And they did
I
it
was
where the
fully
fans.
expecting that meme of like the people like at that watch party for like the British national team is throwing like tons of beer in the air. once they scored. That's what I was expecting when they made the Matt Golden picks. I'm pretty sure I was tipped off to that. And then Mark Murphy did the whole like drawn out like, oh, for the first time in 20-something years, it's a receiver.
I know he was that NC State. He was really good. Was this a bit of a reach? I don't know if
I think it's a slight reach. But he is a solid tackle.
Let me pull up the
ton of upside, but I think even in the second round or mid second round,
Jordan Morgan reach.
So what pick number was Anthony Belton?
54.
He was consensus 91 in the Aretha-san.
Okay,
so
another
Jordan here.
Another Jordan Morgan pick. Is that his name?
Yes,
that's his name, right?
Yeah,
drafted in the first round. Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard very mixed things with Xavier Williams out of TCU.
I don't mind.
Very mixed results on him too. I'm not 100% sold on him.
I've heard good things about the Texas edge. And then
Colin Oliver, I like him. He's a stud.
I think that's a good value pick. I think where you
I'm kind of shocked they didn't go corner. They didn't go corner at all in their first 3 picks. That was a bit of a shock to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I realize it is kind of cheeks. But not as cheeks as I don't know if it's worse than the Lions.
Well, because I hate the Packers, I think it's a D. So
no, it's valid.
It's not. I don't think it's that bad, Kenny. But I think
listen, that's fair.
I think it's worse than the Lions.
Let the hate win. Let the hate win. I have no problem.
Y'all put the Lions.
We gotta put the Packers in C at the lowest.
I think it's a C. And if you're gonna rank inside there, I'd put them ahead of the Lions. Then, if you're gonna rank inside the tier, I'd put them ahead of the Lions.
All right, we got go fast, y'all. We are already over.
Do we though?
Yeah, it's our show though. So like low key, I thought about it and I was like, well, we're running the show today.
This
is the Texans.
Who cares? Okay,
I kind of
love this.
I kind of love this just for the Graham Mertz pick. Just for the Graham Mertz pick.
Honestly, I would. I
like the Jalen Reed pick too. I don't hate that.
They took both the Iowa State receivers.
Yep.
And that's
see them take 2 receivers makes my heart break.
Locking in the 7th round, beautiful pick.
I'd really like this draft.
It's gonna be.
I think it's.
I'll play the Graham Mertz pick. This was a very solid draft.
Yes,
but Woody Marks was another.
But Quinn Ewers was there,
this is my guy right here.
Ewers. No, we're not talking about Quinn Ewers. Get out of here, Quinn Ewers.
No, Quinn Ewers. Sorry.
So what do we do? I really like this draft. I'm inclined to say
B.
I'll say
top, bottom.
I could say. I think it could be A, bottom of the A.
I don't think there was any S tier drafts, just for the record. I know.
No, I totally agree, Jack.
Do we think the Texans had a better draft than the?
To me, there's only 2 teams I'd even consider for S, and one of them is my own. So I don't want to be biased.
Do we think the Cardinals had a worse draft than the Texans?
I think the Texans did slightly better than the Cardinals. That's why I have.
Yes, because they addressed every need.
I'd flip, but I have no problem going with you guys here since there's 4 of us.
Okay, perfect. All right. Quit laughing over there, Kenny.
Fucking Notre Dame.
Man.
I like Tyler Warren. I like JT. I think this is a good draft too. There's some stretches.
I didn't understand the Justin Wally pick. That just might be me though.
They took Riley Leonard. This has to be an F. This has to be an F. My hands are tied. My hands are tied.
Is not a bad pick at all.
They took Riley Leonard. Like my hands are tied. What do you want me to do?
In the 6th, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm Brady was taken in the 6th.
Nice.
Oh, don't disrespect the 6th round.
Aaron Travis is going to nice value.
Oh my gosh, this is a good draft.
DJ good draft.
Giddens could be good.
Travis, solid.
I would say B
I like
Giddens. Even Giddens
like
is
B.
pretty solid for a 5th round pick.
I don't really like Tennessee.
I don't know. Did he? Was he like the forefront of that Kansas State offense this year?
Well, there wasn't much of an offense, so I would say yeah.
Well, they were pretty good compared to the rest of the Big 12.
True. They did pretty decent.
So they had to do something.
He wasn't even the best running back out of Kansas State.
I was gonna say the Kansas running back did a phenomenal
Just wait
job.
till we get there. Just wait till we get there. Just wait.
I would say they're a solid B.
So B.
Yeah,
I like that. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, Si.
Shout out my guy Gladstone. I'm in on Gladstone. That dude's one of the executives.
Thank you.
This dude
I don't need to say anything.
I like
his very
these
first
picks.
draft.
This was
spot on with that. 100%.
His very first draft was like,
Monheim
we're
in
gonna
the
trade off and we're gonna
seventh.
get
He
Monheim.
took
Insane.
guys that are going to just do what they do best and are going to make this team better. And they fill positions of need. They have two now. They have 4 great running backs in the room. They shot two in.
I'm not sure about rootin' tootin' here in the fourth. But
Rootin'
you know,
Tootin'.
I was gonna say that seems like a little bit of a stretch.
You go off.
But that was their guy. That was their guy
Kaiser's
the
a
whole lot.
slight stretch. Just a slight stretch.
I
Rootin'
didn't
Tootin' in
say
the
it's a
fourth.
Notre Dame guy. That's my
Wyatt
fault.
Malone is a really good. He's a really good pick in the third.
He's ended up switching the guard, but he was a good tackle.
I
But
really
you-
liked
you
Ransaw.
also-
at the
you
Senior
had the
Bowl.
Stones-
Ransaw, Raekwon Lane in the secondary.
You
Jack
had the Stones to
Kaiser.
move up and take Travis Hunter, who
Yeah,
was probably the generational pick of this draft, minus
They
maybe
gave-
Abdul
I
Carter.
didn't have him as generational, but if you want to call him that, I have
He
no
was
problem.
definitely the best
of
prospect
this
in this
draft, though.
class.
Like,
Yeah,
if
like
there's-
he was
if
clearly
you
the
count
best.
all 257 picks,
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
was.
play both
the
he's
best
the
guy.
guy. He's
Yeah,
him.
He's gonna play both.
To
sides.
me, there was a gap between him, just in general, to Abdul Carter and Ashton
Yeah.
Jeanty.
So
But
what do we think?
I think
I think it was a fine draft after the Hunter pick, but the Hunter trade was just like robbing Cleveland blind and doing.
100%. They did
Yeah,
it,
so-
a masterclass on that. So
And so if you guys want to make this an A, I'm fine with it. Because like, that was a lot of stones to do that as like a 30-year-old
La-
GM in your first.
I'm
first
giving it
draft.
an A. I don't like the rootin' tootin' pick, but I love these two
Rootin'
picks down
tootin'.
here. So
those
I'm
the
gonna-
two
I'm
7th-round
gonna
picks
look
are
past
great.
it.
Hunter's great.
Bunch of guys
I
who
still
can.
think
A bunch
Kaiser's
of
a
guys
bit
who
of
can
a
play
stretch,
multiple
but it's good.
positions.
This might be the scariest red zone offense in the entire league by the end of the year.
the Chiefs.
This is gonna disgust me, but this is an A.
Yeah, this is absolutely an A. This is a great
This
draft.
is apps. This is
Gillette
100
best a man can get.
This is 110% an A.
He was
Because
I
my
was-
look at
favorite
those last
linebacker.
Jeffrey
three
Basla in
picks.
the 5th is a genuine steal. I got
Steal.
Where's Rashard
Yep.
Smith
Yeah.
in the 7th?
Jalen Royals in
is
the 4th was a steal. No Williams.
This is like knocking
And-
on S tier to me.
And Josh Simmons he'll be a great offensive tackle. In the
He's a-
NFL.
This
He
to
was
me
the
was
third-
probably
he was
the
the
third
third-
best
He's
draft in
going
the
to keep
entire league.
Mahomes upright, and
This
they're
was
going
the
to
third
love
best draft.
him. They're going to
for
love
sure.
him in Kansas City.
This
I
is
get-
knocking on S tier to me.
I like the two gambles right off the back. I feel like at 32, taking a chance on Simmons with the knee, especially because like he's not going to start there.
Omar Lot is a good gamble.
not right away, but he'll develop
Yeah,
into
exactly.
the guy.
Yeah, and I think Andy Reid said we feel like he can play.
I watched. No
You have a veteran
He's a
at tackle
And then-
right now. Who'd
Omar,
you just sign?
and then
Juwan
Omar-
Taylor?
yeah, you have him, and then you have the kid
But-
from San Fran.
Just like Fryer, he can move into guard too, though.
Exactly.
Very easily. Actually.
we can.
I put the Chiefs at an A for sure.
Hey, yeah, this
It's
was
knocking
one-
on S to me.
It's
It-
knocking though.
It's knocking. I don't think that
Knocking.
any team got an S tier, but it's
Yeah.
knocking.
Look at us, guys. Normally we have 4 teams in that spot now. We only even have 1.
Like,
We're really improving. We're really
adding
improving.
Norman Lott to a D line that just did not have a lot of pass rush juice outside of Deshaun Wharton last year. That to me was a
Mm.
tremendous game. Like even if that doesn't work out, I like how they took the risk on that.
Well, we
This
don't take
one has
5 years
me-
to get through this if we don't keep going.
This-
So we're going to the Raiders.
This was another draft this was my number 3 draft in the AFC.
I can see it being a solid A. I love Genty. The wide receiver out of TCU is pretty solid too,
Not bad.
especially for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
two pick.
best can-
Even their bottom picks.
Seeing
you know,
Caleb
Linden-
Rogers going to 3rd round makes me really
Charles
happy.
Grant was a good pick. They needed another tackle.
I like Lindenberg too out of Minnesota. I think
Yeah.
he's pretty decent.
Yes, sir. We do love Cody Lindenberg
That's
around
your
here.
AJ
guy right
Yes,
there.
that's
I'm not
my
sure about
guy.
Cam Miller down here, but
JJP's.
But
You're
in the 6th
ready
round,
for him
taking
to
a
line
quarterback from North Dakota State,
All name
it's
team,
okay.
Tonka Hemingway.
this
That's
guy,
first
Okay,
name
Hemingway,
might be
oh.
the best name in the draft. And then
Oh,
he
Keegan.
name
went to the
team.
freaking Eagles. That tush push would have been insane. With
Cody
JJ
Lindenberg's
Pickens.
Oh, he's a
He's
running
gonna
the
get
ball
the snap.
himself. He's a running
Yeah.
the ball himself.
He's gonna
Yeah.
get fullback snaps, and it's gonna be
100%.
This
I
is a great draft.
I think it's
I'm
an
not. I don't know
Both
where
will-
William and Mary is,
and
but
Cam Miller
when I
could be
heard this pick, I
quarterback-
was
good
like,
quarterback
"Where's
play.
William and Mary?"
Yeah,
All right,
Charles
what do you
Grant
think for the
guy, I
Raiders?
know a lot of people like
I go
A
A.
or B. Whatever you guys
I like
want to
A.
go on.
I like A.
Okay,
We got
Coach Kenny said A. All right, let's keep going. Charges.
Listen,
Mm,
listen, brother.
mm.
Chills, brother. Chills with that first pick. Chills. We are going to run the ball 55 times a game. 3
This is
tight
a
ends
great
in the field
draft
all the
class. This is a great
Merritt
draft
Hampton
class,
and
man.
Najee Harris are going to break carries per
Him
game.
in the 5th round's really good. He was really good for Syracuse this year.
I like the guard Taylor out of Pittsburgh. He's pretty good, especially with the 199 pick. I think that's a pretty good value.
I saw Kyle Kennard give Will Campbell the business from their game last year. I think he has a chance to be pretty solid for them.
Jamal Campbell's a great guy.
I think Trey Harris has some upside.
I think it's a solid B.
Yeah, this is a B. Yeah.
The Rams. Oh, this just is cheeks. Oh my gosh.
They got Chris Paul Jr. in the 5th. That was one of the best.
That's a great pick. Yeah, that
was one of the best picks of the entire draft.
This rest is cheeks.
Josiah,
I think there's much to say.
He was my number 39 guy in this class. I was way higher on Josiah Stewart than anyone else.
I'd go D.
I go C.
Then they get
below average.
Didn't they get a future first rounder though? Am I wrong?
I think so.
I can compromise with C.
Because they were the team that traded with the Giants, right?
I think so, but
right.
I think it has to be a D simply because who they took in the second round.
Sure, James Ferguson was.
You want another Gladstone story? Because apparently he sniped that pick before it even happened in the war room for the Jacks.
I gotta go D.
Someone's like, "Oh yeah, who do you think they're taking there?" And he's like, "Terrence Ferguson," like instantly, and then sure enough, it was Terrence Ferguson.
All right. Oh, this was such cheeks too. I think this was a great pick.
That's super high value for that one. Yeah. I really like Ollie Gordon. I don't know how he fell so far.
I don't either.
It was this time last year.
Third to fourth, but yeah, this time last year he was so high up. I don't know.
I like the Kenneth Grant pick. You needed another guy in that defensive line rotation.
Personally, I think Quinn Ewers should have gone undrafted, but that's just me.
You're gonna have two Jay Phillips in your defensive lineup.
Savanea, they jumped the Patriots for him, so I'm pretty sure that the Pats were going to take him. So I can kind of understand why you would want to go for him.
This is not higher than a C to me, though.
Yeah, I had this as a C.
It's got to be a C.
This is a C.
It wasn't like a bad draft.
Shout out Dante Trader, though. I know that Jack and I had a slight disagreement on it. I know the value is not good for him.
Yeah, that was a big reach.
More center guy, but
it's a reach. But I like him.
It's a reach, but it's a solid reach. I mean, I'm okay with it.
Oh my cheeks! What the heck did they do?
They did not take one singular defensive back. That's what they did. Not one.
That's what they needed. Secondary. What are you doing?
They needed another interior guy, which in fairness they didn't get. They got Donovan Jackson. But
trading for Jalen Ramsey? Question mark.
No.
I don't see that.
This
happening.
is cheeks. This might be the worst draft.
No.
Yeah, I think it's D. I think it's a D.
It's D.
Yeah, this is a D.
Only one is going to go. Only one is going to go in there, and we're not there yet.
Okay. This one's going to go there.
A.
No, this is an A draft.
This is an A draft.
How do you feel about
Kyle
once again, the Patriots just know how to draft. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
even though you might have taken
long snap, I had tears in my eyes when I saw long snapper in the 7th, man. Tears in my eyes.
I mean, I was excited you guys got Travion. I mean, that was...
I didn't think he was even me there.
Nope. No, not at all. I was very...
this was a great pick. This was a good pick.
Kyle Williams. Every single major
also, Jack Craig Woodson.
But I mean, you look at it, there aren't any reaches.
You'll like him.
That to me was
all
the
solid
worst pick that they made, but I don't even think it was a bad pick. I just don't think he was not a safety that they needed.
I agree, Kenny. There's not really many reaches in this draft.
There's tons of grit in every single pick. I mean, minus the kicker, obviously. But I mean, this is about as solid as you get.
You put some respect on Aurora Borealis. Put some respect on Aurora Borealis.
I'm just saying, kickers don't have grit. That's all.
That was my one or two best drafts. Entire, draft.
Drafting the quarterback.
There's so many people that y'all drafted that I love.
In the 2nd round is.
Now I did a show on this Tuesday.
Booty.
Great pick. Great pick. Great pick. Great pick. Great pick.
Quincy Riley.
This was a solid draft if it started right here. Kelvin Banks wasn't bad, but these two.
You had to take him at 9. That was the obvious.
I understood the pick if they're going to play him right away. But taking Brennan Brogdon with your 3rd, I'm sorry.
This was a reach, but this was a big reach.
I think Shug is the biggest reach of the draft, honestly.
But Shug outside of, I guess, Cam Ward is the most NFL ready and who can
Oh,
And
I would hope
he's
for like 10
really-
calls for a half
he's
decade.
he's gonna play week 1, and he's gonna have to just figure it out.
This
Unless
is
we want-
definitely
He's
not,
not
the
going
biggest
to
reach
figure
of
it
the
out.
draft,
I,
but it's
Okay.
it's a reach.
it's some hyperbole there, but it is ridiculous.
If you're gonna trust the Lions with what they're gonna do, trust Kellen Moore, who just won a Super Bowl, exhibiting Jalen Hurts' strengths on the football field. So
Valid
I would
point.
trust
Valid
him.
point.
So,
I would trust him.
But the Lions have a track
I'm gonna
record of
trust him.
earning that trust consistently with the head coach. Kellen
Also,
Moore's first go as a head coach, right?
Yeah.
He's
but,
also
you
coaching
know,
a very mediocre roster.
He's
on the
got to
whole.
have his guy, right?
He just needs bodies.
and
and he
that
got
was his
bodies.
guy,
And his,
you
and his
know?
GM is one of the 10 most wanted people in
Yeah,
this
his
country.
GM sucks. But this pick, A+.
Yes,
to me.
I know a lot of
100%.
draft
A+.
people who love themselves some
The
Devin
pick
Gill.
right above him,
Man.
Quincy
He's
Riley.
one of my
That's
favorite
a-
running backs in this draft, and there's
Kelvin
quite
Banks
a
was my
few.
top tackle, and they got him at 9. That was a great pick.
Now, I graded this a B, but I wasn't really that biased, but I could see it being in the C category.
I
But
could see-
personally, I graded this a B.
I would say C. Like
Just
I don't
because
think
of the
it's not
value
a
of
bad
some
draft.
of the picks.
Yeah, it's not a
I'd
bad
go-
draft.
It's
I would
not
say
great value, but
I'd
like
go
it
C.
did.
I see your argument, Connor, but I'd still have
Yeah.
to go C. That second
It's
round
fine.
pick.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
everyone.
hate that.
I would say every single team in B definitively had a better draft than the Saints.
I love these picks, man. That made me.
You've said that for every team. You've
Yeah.
gone like anything
Okay,
beyond
yeah,
round
yeah.
two.
Day three
I
guys,
like
Connor.
five
You're a
picks.
day three
Man, I
guy.
love these picks, man.
All
I
right.
love these picks.
What do you think about the Giants?
Abdul Carter was great. I did not understand coming back into the first
Hated
round for Jackson Dart. Sorry, I don't
Hated
see.
it.
The Saints.
Hayden.
Saints were gonna
Not
get him.
Hayden.
Listen,
Marcus
Cam
Rumbo is a
Scadabo-
great
I
value
know
in the 5th.
I should on Cam Scadabo early in the offseason, but I kind of like his grit now. I just wish he would cut down on the attitude a little bit. But
very Danny
in-
Woodhead-esque. Very
the-
Rex Burkhead-esque.
right, but a pretty
Insert
decent
like
pick in the
this.
fourth.
Esque.
I could see this being a B.
Now,
They did great. I like this.
Jackson Dart's not going to be good.
They
But-
can't go lower than
Thank
that.
you,
However,
Jack.
However, I want to preface this. He's going to throw picks. That's not really going to matter when the defense gets on the field, immediately gets a strip sack, and then he'll just be able to throw more picks again. Because this is the scariest defensive line maybe I've ever seen.
He
Because now
might get
you're
hurt
adding,
at practice.
Thibodeau,
you're adding
Carter.
Darius Alexander on the interior here to play with Dexter Lawrence, and then you got now Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. That's horrifying.
And-
Horrifying.
And right, they still have Thibodeau, right?
My guess is
Yeah,
they're
they
gonna-
do. They
they're gonna trade him.
accepted
They're gonna
his
trade
5th option. So I think what they're going to do is have a prove it year and then use him for some either
Trade
like a
bait.
better player or some draft capital.
I could totally see him getting dealt at the deadline if they go into the season with them.
I'm thinking of B though.
I would say C just for the Dart trade, but definitely not a terrible trade.
No, I don't think the Dart. I don't
I
hate Dart at 25 though. Dart did really well at this was properly valued, in my opinion. I don't like Ole Miss, so
I did not
keep
have
that
on my
in
top
mind.
75.
It's a
This
good
was
pick.
properly
I don't know.
valued.
I
in
had
my
I had
opinion.
Dart in the 30s in my head, but
It's up to y'all, but I think this is
I would say
great.
C.
I think this is a great draft. I think it's better than the Saints.
I could
100%.
see B. I can see
Hey,
the argument.
humble man says better than the Saints. We put it at a B.
All right,
Ooh,
F.
what the cheeks?
Again,
this is
This
bad.
might be an F. You're right.
no.
This might
no.
be-
I was joking. I actually don't think this was a bad draft. believe it or
I
not.
think this is like a.
This
like
is cheeks. What the heck?
okay.
Everything
Look,
after
really good first 3 picks. First 3 picks
Really
are
good,
all.
great first
I was
three
gonna say
picks.
everything in the 4th to the 5th is
Yeah,
kind of a stretch. At
Arian
least
Smith
That
was
just
so-
takes my value.
Apparently, I don't remember where I saw this, so I can't give them credit. But apparently, the Jets only met with 2 receivers this entire class.
And then one
Arian
of them was
Smith was one
Arian
of them.
Smith.
Do you want to know who the other receiver was?
I do actually.
Kyle Williams.
Okay.
Mm,
Now Malachi Moore
Really
wasn't
hate to
that
see
bad,
that.
to be honest.
no,
They
but
were
I still
ta- I
didn't- I had
I
him in the 5th though. not
They were
in the
talking to
5th.
Malachi Moore like 3 years ago that he was like the next guy in that secondary once they lost Branch. I remember that very definitively. They were talking him up like he was the next big thing.
This is a C, probably, maybe D.
They lost me with the Arian Smith pick, but I think the rest of this draft's pretty fine. But I would say C or B.
It's just average to me.
I'll take
It's an
C.
average draft.
Very good first 3 picks, though, I will say.
Oh man,
They let him do it again.
these
that's right,
first
Lee.
2 picks.
They
That's
let
right.
him,
They,
they
Yeah,
let
hey,
him do it
it's-
again.
The first 3
Move on.
picks. I think Ty Robinson.
Every pick, literally every pick is good.
This
all
is
of
my this
Oh
is this
my
my S.
God.
I don't know about
Cameron
Kyle
Williams
McCord,
in the
though.
sixth round.
this is.
still
I had
pretty-
him in the first round at the
Hometown
beginning
kid
of the
Kyle
college
McCord as your
football
backup.
season.
Don't hate it.
Cameron Williams only had 1 year of starting experience, and he was one of the better outright tackles in the SEC. Now they're going to basically redshirt him, just get him in their system, and he's going to be the heir apparent for Lane Johnson. Highway robbery. That might have been the best pick of this entire draft.
Something
this gonna
about
be our
6 round
S tier?
offensive linemen. Something about 6
I
round
think you could
offensive
argue
linemen.
this one to be S tier.
If we
Is
could only
this
put
going to
one
be our
team,
S tier?
if we're only putting one team in S tier, I think it's the Eagles.
I think so too.
I think so too.
This
If there's only
draft is
one-
phenomenal.
Because it started with getting Jahad Campbell at 31, and then you get Makuba at 64, and
The
then
league just
everything
gave
else is
him
just
best
great.
linebacker in this
Samal
draft.
Mondon Jr. out of Georgia in the
It's
fifth.
Smile.
His
His
name's-
name's,
Smile.
his
I knew.
name's
My
Smile.
bad. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's smile a little bit, asshole.
Yes.
I think,
Smile.
yeah, I still think the McCord might be the only thing that drops you out of the S tier, but I still understand it because he'll be a
Kenny.
decent. He'll be
He
a
was good at
decent backup
Syracuse, man.
quarterback.
Listen,
He
Listen,
led
he
the
is, he is.
entire country.
he was good at Syracuse, man. You gotta give him that. He was
Solid.
He
actually
led the entire country, Kenny.
Sour grapes.
He was
for
the
how he
number
left,
one
How he
quarterback.
left Columbus.
Sour
That's all I'm
grapes.
saying. Sour grapes. That's
This
all.
was S tier.
yeah. There's
I was
one.
saying
S
it's the
tier
only
draft.
argument you have out of S tier. I agree that it's S tier, but McCord to me is the only argument out of S tier. That's all.
All right. This is another good draft.
A.
Very, very rock solid
Hey.
draft.
I think
No,
Jack
that's-
Sawyer is an
if you
absolute
if
steal
you
in
know
the
some
fourth.
UDFAs they brought in
I
too.
know Jack Sawyer.
T-Rex.
This
T-Rex.
is a Steelers
Jack-
guy too. Jack Sawyer in the fourth. Man,
He is a pure Steeler guy. I mean, I'm
That's
glad
crazy.
he went to Pittsburgh.
Talking
That-
about
that is-
Steeler guys, look at
is he on your
at,
jersey list, Kenny?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Love
Man,
Even
Caleb.
if I have
this
to
was
do
a
the
good
custom
draft.
deal,
Caleb
yeah,
Johnson. Let's talk.
I would
about
say
that
A
real
or B.
quick.
A or
I'd
B.
say A. I'd say
I
A.
don't hate A. I don't hate
Good.
A.
It was
Just
a good
because some of
draft.
these, like this pick was good.
I
I
would
think
love
Will Howard is a good value in the late sixth round as well. I think he could have gone fourth, but Will Howard fell into the sixth. I get it. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah,
I
this
came
is
out of
a
the college
great,
football
like this
playoffs
too.
liking Will Howard a lot. If I'm
Mm.
being completely honest, I actually thought he was
I
pretty.
was nervous after the Oregon game, right after the Oregon loss. I understood that he got hurt during the game, but the way he handled himself in the playoff, the way he handled himself game in, game out, became a
It was
true
good.
leader in Columbus. Yeah, a lot of upside. I like it.
If he starts, he has the potential to be the best rookie quarterback in this draft class.
There's no. Call me an Aaron Rodgers hater. There's no way you can tell me he would be any worse this year than Aaron Rodgers. There's no way.
Call
There's
me
no
an Aaron
way
Rodgers
you can tell me.
hater.
I get it.
All right,
Okay.
This is a draft that started great and then kind of fell off a cliff.
It did
I
start
got
great.
bored by day two.
It did start great. What are you doing here?
So I will note
That's
Nick Martin
actually
was kind of
Day three.
Good
Nick
value.
Martin was considered a big reach, but I trust him with linebackers because now you have Robert Saleh back, and I think I would call him one of the better guys at just working with linebackers just based on who he's had with the Jets and the 49ers. Nick Martin was a guy, I think like 6 games into the season, tore his MCL, like missed most of the year. So I'm assuming they felt good about what they saw and about his medical, so I can give him some grace there. Upton Stout, another guy. I think
that's
it's more of a
good pick.
slot. They needed a boundary guy.
Oh yeah. Who
I
do
think
they
they
have?
make
Who do they
guy.
have at slot right now?
I'm pretty sure Lenore is kind of like tweener, but he's more of a slot guy.
Mhm. And then they won't have Malik Mustafa now for
Oh yeah, because he tore his
Wow.
ACL, right?
yeah.
And
it's a
I
bad
trust Iowa linemen, especially.
Yeah,
in
Connor.
the
Connor.
second
I can
draft.
tell y'all, I've watched too much Connor
Yeah,
Colby,
no bias,
Colby
no
film.
bias at all.
He's going to develop. He's going to develop well.
Michael Williams might have been my
Michael
favorite
Williams
player
is
in the entire class.
beautiful.
The more I look at it, I don't hate this draft. It's,
Yeah,
it's
No.
pretty decent. Pretty
It's-
decent.
I would
I
say
don't know.
Jordan James is going to develop into a good running back. He's
Mhm.
probably a good value pick in the 5th. I think it's a solid
question
C.
mark?
I like
C,
C.
yeah.
And I'm
Not
like
overwhelmed
I'm like
because
I'm a
there's
nine.
a-
They're over the lines. This
There's
pick
a
is
lot of
cheap, so I'm putting
potential
them
in
last. I'm
that.
sorry.
There's a
Number
lot of
14.
potential in the 49ers
Mhm.
picks. It's just that all the potential has to pan out. Otherwise, it's going to look like crap. But
I feel like we're going to be all over the place in the Seahawks.
Okay. This pick,
are
this
going to
would
be
get
all
one of
over
the
the place.
highest draft grades for me if you didn't do this. Jalen Milroe in the
It's-
third. What are you smoking? Are you kidding me?
It's again, you got
This
it's
is
a
the
big risk,
biggest
big
project
reward.
quarterback ever.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jackson
Jalen
Dart
Milroe.
won the first.
No, Jackson Dart is. Are you comparing
Dylan Gabriel
Jalen
went in the
Milroe
third.
to Jackson
Dylan
Dart?
Gabriel went like 2 picks after this.
Yeah.
He did, and I'm saying that I would not touch Jalen Milroe with the 7th round pick. He's worse
He's
than Anthony Richardson.
He's 21
realize
years
this is-
old. He's not going to be starting there. You can bake
only
him
the
into your
third-
system.
It's only the third quarterback that their GMs.
It doesn't
drafted
matter
in
if
years
someone's
being
not
there.
a good
last
quarterback. How
quarterback
do you
he
expect
drafted
them to
was
be a good
Russell
quarterback in the NFL?
I
This
trust
dude is
their
literally an Anthony Richardson copy and paste.
They're not even
Literally,
the same kind of player. Anthony
literally.
Richardson was like 6'5",
I'm talking about like their
6'5",
experience.
230.
Barely any college.
Not even the same
experience.
kind of player.
Barely any college experience. Anthony Richardson played 1 year. You drafted him in the 3rd round based
Yo,
off
Miller
his
has 2 years of
athleticism.
starting experience.
Year and a half.
I would have put Jalen Milroe either
This was a
late
trash
fourth,
pick. I'm sorry.
fifth. I don't see him going in the 3rd round. I get it.
Yeah, that was
I also
the back
didn't
half
really
of
like the
third. I don't
Arroyo
hate it.
pick. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Quarterback
I
was
wasn't
such a
sold on
crapshoot.
him.
You did so good with these first. Like Nicky Manwari
Really?
in
You
the
think
second.
Arroyo was a good pick? I thought that
Evan
was a
Moore was a
stretch.
guy I
Robbie
was
Unz is
on,
my
but
least
also
favorite
loved.
pick.
I think he has a
He-
lot of
He
potential.
proved himself. He proved himself. I think.
Okay.
I think Arroyo was a fine pick.
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
how they were
I thought it was a
immediately
bit of a
like,
reach. That's all. I
Jack
had him
Gaffney
in the
loves
third.
this pick.
I mean, F.
Drafting Robbie
Troy
Unz
Horton.
was kind of
Troy
a head
Horton's a
scratcher
guy.
to me.
I had him on my
don't-
radar ever since that first Colorado State game. I think
Man, that game was so good. Whew.
he was really good in that
That
game.
game was so good.
So
I don't-
I'm expecting good things out of him, hopefully.
I don't
But,
hate their last 2 picks either, though. I think they're okay,
This
especially
game was
for
a
the
B.
7th round. Ooh,
Not
Oh, I
quite
can't.
A.
I thought it was. a
Connor, you get
C
that
at
mouse
best.
away. You get that mouse away.
I can't give him a
I thought
B
you guys are
because of
overhating on
Milroe.
Jalen Milroe. Like he
He
wasn't
can't
great
be
this
high.
year, but
That
like,
pick was awful.
he's young
That-
and he's
I'm
got
t-
upside.
Yeah,
Go
so did
develop.
Anthony Richardson, and we saw how that turned out.
But
I'm telling
Anthony
you,
Richardson
this
also had
is
to play
the
right
number
away.
But at least they
one
didn't waste a 1st round on him.
project. No, they didn't, but they wasted a 3rd.
True.
I'm
Like I
saying
said, I had him in the
it's
4th.
Right, we're
or
talking
the
about wasting third
It's
rounders. There was an
cheats.
infinitely worse quarterback pick than this. Like 3 picks.
No, I
later.
agree.
Infinitely worse.
All right,
fifth.
let's go here.
Am I the only one who didn't really get the Aguga pick? I think
don't-
he's a great player, but like I just didn't get it.
I don't
I
know if it
don't
fits
know.
the
There's
scheme,
some
but I think it's a
good
great
value in
value
here, though.
for the 19 spot.
Oh yeah, of course Kenny's gonna say Emeka Egbuka.
I had him
was
at
the
20.
best wide receiver in this draft class.
He was the best slot receiver in this draft.
Thank you, best slot receiver.
Oh yeah, he was. I'm not gonna hate on that.
Like I think he's a great player. I think
Because
And
overall,
you're-
he was probably the 3rd best receiver at Ohio State this year. I mean, that's just it's crazy.
And that's
the
kind of
talent
always
that
been
they
the
have
thing
in the
with him.
league.
It's like he's always had to fight for targets. He's
And
never been the
solid.
number 1 guy, and he's just always been really good.
No,
I
very
like this
rarely
pick.
drops it.
Don't hate Jack. I like this pick.
No,
I don't,
Ben
I
Morris.
don't hate that one, and I don't hate
I-
Tyus Johnson
I like the
in the
corner
7th. I
double
think
dip.
that's a steal. I don't
Yeah,
know
the
how.
corner
I
double
don't know
dip
why
was
he
something they
fell.
needed to do.
Jacob
Who-
Parrish is a phenomenal pick.
I just
Elijah
don't know
Roberts.
much about these two
I like
guys.
Elijah Roberts.
Elijah Roberts led the country in
Solid
quarterback
dude.
pressures in the 5th round. That is a great value.
He
They're
did not
Harvard
lead
or
the
something.
country in quarterback pressures. Elijah Roberts.
Bantamweight champion of the world, Tez Johnson, the 7th.
This is a very solid draft.
If he could gain some weight,
I know
Tyus
you only
Johnson-
see, they took 2 receivers, 2 quarterbacks, 2 edges, but that was their holes. That's what
I
they
think
needed.
it's a
Yeah,
solid.
I don't
pick.
have yeah, it was a fine draft. I'd say B.
I think it's
I
a
just
B.
didn't really get the
I think it's one of the worst Bs, but yeah.
Sure.
yeah. This is
I'll
like
give
this
you
is one of
that.
those teetering teams. I would say.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got the best
Oh
draft class.
boy. Oh boy.
This to me very solid B. Very solid B.
I'd say
Good,
low B, but okay.
good.
I like coming
Great.
home.
If I personally didn't draft Cam Ward, I would probably feel lower about this. But I think he has enough upside to where
This is the best pick right here.
No, their best pick. Go up to pick number what is that? Say
52.
120.
Oh,
I think Gunnar
oh,
Helm's one of their best
157.
picks.
Love the old
Jared
little
Helm's really good value.
I was
the-
joking.
Jameer
'cause it was
DK was a little bit of a reach.
Alec Mayer is a guy I'm very excited about.
Yes, this is gonna be
Surprised he
so
fell as
fun.
much as he did.
This is gonna
Someone
be so
on Twitter wanted those two receivers exactly in the day 3, and they got him, and it was really funny to watch the thread on that. But this is a good B.
I
This is a
like
good
the
B.
It's
I'm
better
okay
than
with
the
the B.
Buccaneers.
Our,
It's
our,
better.
our
I
Cam
think it's a
Ward
low
villain,
B, but I can see
our
it.
Cam Ward villain can show that to
All right.
B.
The
Last
last
but not
one.
least,
Left hand up, baby.
Oof.
always.
The tackle pick is a bit interesting given the trade for why am I blanking on his name? My brain's
Tommy Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil. I don't know why my brain's fried.
Well, he's
but-
old, Jack. How much longer are you supposed to play?
I'm old. Brother, I'm old.
Jalen Lane's a good
Well,
receiver in
you
the
should get
fourth.
in that tackle spot then.
Trey Amos has good upside for that secondary.
I don't hate that pick.
Trey
I'm a
Amos
second round.
at pick 61 was really good value.
Yes.
I like that
Yeah.
pick a lot.
honestly,
I thought he was going first. I was expecting
him
him
to
to
be
go
honorably
first.
pick.
I knew that Maxwell Hairston, they were high on him, especially after the Senior Bowl and then the Combine. They were real high on
I
Maxwell.
would love to
Hairston.
know where exactly they're going to play Conroy. They're going to kick him in a guard, or is he the right tackle?
I think guard.
Mm,
I think he fits in at guard pretty well.
who do you have? You have Cosme at guard right now. Who else do you have at guard?
They have Cosme for sure. I don't know offhand who their other guard is.
I don't hate the pick. This is not a bad pick.
Yeah, this is another. Again, not a ton of
might-
picks, but they did good. They did good at the top of the draft.
I think I liked Simmons a little bit better than Josh Connerly.
Yeah, but he didn't have the patellar tendon deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like
Um,
medicals.
Touche.
There's a ton of things.
All right, what are we doing?
I'd say C.
I'd say C.
I would say C. I just feel I think we could say most.
Okay, but we need a spot reserved for right here. So who had the worst draft in this?
Okay, so if we're reevaluating it, then I would either put the Rams or the Vikings at hell.
If we're only putting one team in hell, I would say it's Cleveland.
They should be punished for the.
I need to
Travis
keep my
Hunter
mouth
deal.
shut. 'Cause My real vote.
I don't know. I don't. For Shedeur in the fifth, I don't think you can put it.
Exactly.
Hell.
I know.
That's the
I
only
know.
thing. What did the
No,
Rams
no,
do?
no. I'm not even talking about the Shedeur. I'm talking about the process of trading out of Travis Hunter and then taking Dylan Gabriel, the top 100 pick.
This was a good pick, and that's
About it.
I could see the Rams being the worst pick, the worst draft.
I don't know, man. I really liked Chris Paul. I really liked Josiah Stewart.
I can see. Oh, this was cheeks. This got to be the worst one. Come
I
on.
also said
Maybe
Vikings.
this
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah, the
Vikings,
Vikings.
like in
Let's
my
go. Let's go.
I'm gonna say
Minnesota.
Vikings. This one was cheeks. Come on,
Gavin
Jack.
Bartholomew could be solid. Could be
Shedeur
key.
in the fifth round is better than everything about
Yes.
this.
They were
Yes.
far enough down for me that you can talk me to them this being the worst just for a collective list.
Cheeks. Here, we'll rename it to Cheeks.
Jeez. There you go.
Hell.
There we go.
For help.
Respect.
Mickey Loomis.
Okay.
Mickey Loomis / Ryan
Nah, if we
Grigson.
really want to get picky, we can make our own
Mickey
subtle tiers.
Ryan Grigson. Jordan Hunt.
All
Well, this
right.
is our 2025 draft grades. I think it's good.
I'm cool with this. I'm honestly.
I think
This
it's
is the
pretty good.
most we've actually agreed.
I'm not here to argue, but
Do you want me to
Jack, if you want to argue, go argue.
I'm not here. I said that in my Twitter bio. I'm not here to argue.
Yeah, so we gotta tweet this out. All right.
I said it over the people,
Perfect. Any changes you would make before I stop sharing?
I'll put the Patriots in S plus, but I mean outside of that,
Okay, whatever, Jack.
Nah, they're top the draft. I gotta give it to the Patriots. They was top the draft, even with the loss.
good. It was good. I got
It was
to
a good draft. It was a good draft.
Oh,
Anyways,
we had
I don't
comments.
disagree.
but
we
it's like
did,
we're
but-
missing something. We're missing a certain guy that's gonna tell us some fun things about insurance.
Yeah,
We
if you're
are
ready to
missing-
end it, then yeah.
We are missing the fun guy with the Mr. Card Man. But
40.
Before we
40
leave,
of what?
go 0.
Oh, I didn't even know Scott was in the chat. I feel
Bang.
bad now. My guy Scott.
No,
Are
we're
you still
not. But that's
clapping
okay.
Big
Real horrible.
Stacy?
I don't even remember. Big Stacy could be anybody, and that's an issue. But we good, y'all. We good. Big Stacy could be a lot of people, but nah, we good. And on that note,
This was the first comment
I
of
know
the
it
show.
was the first
guys.
comment. I read it.
I
And
didn't
I'm
put
like,
it up.
y'all gotta be kidding me. Is this really what we're doing right now? It's okay. Thank you, fans. Appreciate y'all. But that's all we have for our extended episode of Third Down Thursdays.
Which is
I'm
brought-
host of the week, Signer Saw. You know the three fellas that are around me. And if you liked what you saw today, we'll have Bruce back next week. We'll have Jackson back next week, hopefully. I'll be here. Con will be here. Kenny will be here. Jack might even be here again. So, on that note, fellas, I'll see y'all next week. O'Connor.
Hey, Si.
Good stuff.